Hey Defying Gravity Volleyball family, it's Coach T and I am back with another YouTube video. In today's YouTube video, I'm continuing the series where I explain all the volleyball positions, and in today's part 3, it's all about the middle. So with that, let's just hop right into the video. So in parts 1 and 2, we learned about the setter and the libero, and today we're talking all about the middle. And there's a lot to go over because the middle has so many jobs on the court. A lot of people overlook this position, but it's truly, especially from a setter's perspective, a really, really challenging position. So what is a middle blocker or a middle hitter? So the middle position is responsible for offense and defense, but first and foremost, it's defense. The middles are our first line of defense because when your opponent is attacking, the middle's block can completely change and slow down how that attack is given to your team. It can slow down the block, it can completely change the trajectory of a block, or it can make an attacker hit away from the block, really helping your back row adjust their defense and cover more areas on the court. The middle is also responsible for offense because in a regular sequence of experienced volleyball, it's block, transition to hit, hit, block, transition to hit over and over and over again. That's for every long rally, not just for every game. There's so many times a middle's head is on a swivel. I feel terrible for that. There's so much things, especially being right in the middle of the court. It's very, very hard, but a vital position on our court. And just like I said, the setter is much like a quarterback in football and the libero is much like a goalie in soccer. The middle position is very similar to a center position in basketball. Because just like a center in basketball, who is usually one of the taller people on your teams, and also they protect the paint, right? So they're helping their teammates make sure that their opponents don't get easy points on them by keeping their arms up, sometimes blocking and stuffing them when they're trying to get an easy layup. It's just like a middle blocker who is one of the tallest people on our courts, and their block really slows down or completely stuffs their opponent's attempt at earning a point on us. And I make this comparison because it's really easy for newer players to volleyball to understand the position's importance and their roles when you compare it to a more popularized sport like basketball, soccer, and football. But think about it this way: the taller a middle blocker is, or the higher vertical they have, the bigger obstacle and wall their opponent has to hit around, right? And it's the same thing for a center. The bigger the area of blocking, the more the opponent has to go around them to get their shot in. And even though the middle is responsible for offense and defense, it's very rare to see a middle play in the back row. Typically, for more experienced teams, a coach will use their libero to libero sub out a middle once they get to the back row. But it's definitely not illegal to have a middle in the back row. It's just very, very rare to see that because that's usually a pristine opportunity to put in your libero, who is the best passer on your team. So now that we know very basic fundamentals of what the position looks like, why don't we really dive into what attributes you need to be a really good middle? Here are the 5 attributes that I came up with. So the first one is athletic, strategic decision making and athletic intelligence, body awareness, that's very important, and we'll get into that, pristine timing, and communication skills. And I'm going to say this in every single part of this series. Being athletic is, of course, something that most athletes want for any position of any sport, but especially the middle blocker position, you need to be athletic because it's kind of known that if you're taller, it's a little harder for your mind and body to connect in athletics unless you have a lot of training and repetitions. So being tall isn't the only thing you need to be a good middle. You really have to be athletic. You can't just be tall and expect to be ready for D1 volleyball. It's definitely not like that at all. Really good, especially D1 volleyball players that you see, have put in years and years and years of work to become athletic. Don't worry though, if you are ready to put in the work, you can get there no matter your athletic ability right now or not. Put in work and you'll start seeing some improvement. Strategic decision making and athletic intelligence. From what I've seen coaching volleyball, my best middles are the ones that are strategic and can see an open spot on the court. Because think about it this way: the outsides have specific angles they can hit from, the right side has a specific angle, but the middle has essentially the entire court to consider if you really think about it. If you see an open spot right around the block in the donut area, are you going to swing to the corner just because you want to swing it? Or are you going to get an easy point and tip it right over the block? It's just like things like that. You notice open areas on the court and you push the ball there. You hit when you're supposed to hit. You utilize the block when you need to utilize the block, etc. There's so many things where if you're a middle and you're intelligent in their athletic position, it'll get you so much farther and earn so many more points. The third one, body awareness, is honestly, if I could put it first, I would, but I felt like the other two are also very important. But body awareness is something you very, very much so need in the middle position because, like I've already said, you are in the middle of the court. So you're usually in the setter's way. You can sometimes be in the back row's way. There's so much that you need to be aware of, not just for your own body, but for other people's vicinity around you so you're not interrupting a play. But if you don't have body awareness in the middle position, you are going to cause not only confusion for yourself, but for your teammates, and that adds a lot of frustration that nobody wants on the court. Fourth one, great timing. Having great timing is very important for when you're attacking, but especially in the middle position when you need perfect timing for a block. If your block's a little early, a little late, it's completely changing how your defense is going to receive that ball. Having a consistent block is vital for your first touch on a play. And my last point, communication skills. Like I've said about athletic ability, you need to have communication skills on all these positions, but being able to communicate as a middle is very important. You are in the middle of the court. There's a lot to be communicating. If you're at least not able to communicate with who you're blocking with and your setter, you really are going to boop, you're going to have a really bad time and a hard time being a middle. Honestly, that's what sets apart good middles from phenomenal, because those attributes are the ones that I can see in my athletes and in D1 sports that excel at the position. And in this last section, like we're used to from the other series, I'm going to talk about my middles that I think you should be watching. Remember, and I'm not the only one that says this, it's not just about getting repetitions, it's also about watching volleyball. That's where you also get so much of your information. First middle is Taylor Averill. He is a part of the men's national USA team and was just in the Olympics. When I watch him play, he is the epitome of having smart plays. He knows when to fully swing. He knows when he sees an opening. He knows how to stay out of the setter's way, but also utilize, if he's in his way, to still give him an attack option. He's very good on defense. And of course, let's be for real, anyone that I'm talking about in this section is D1 or professional athletes, so it's not like they're not athletic. But of course, when you watch him, you're like, oh, that's what a middle is supposed to do. He is so fun to watch, and his hit is deadly. And my next middle is ironically also Taylor. So Taylor Tremwell, she just won a national title with Penn State. And she's been consistently one of my favorite middles to watch because her intensity really shines on the court. But I really feel like Taylor Tremwell is a really good example of getting hype in the middle position and seeing how it's actually one of the hardest and most vital positions on the court. And it can really add so much energy to your team when you get a block, when you get that really good kill. There's so many things that middles are important for, and I think Taylor really shows through her passion and love for her position that being a middle is fun. It's fun, guys. Come on. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's really fun. Next is Kara Kreese. So she just also played in the finals, but for Louisville in the national championship. And she is very, very well known, especially for newer athletes to volleyball, but not just in her consistency with her blocking because she is so tall, but also very athletic. I think she's a perfect example of your height not having to be a deterrent for your athletic ability. I am almost certain, without knowing, that she put in a lot of work for many, many years to get to where she is as a middle right now. My next middle is Agnieszka. So she actually is someone that I just got to know for the first time from watching the Olympics. So this is another important reminder that watching and looking out for volleyball games and teams is ways that you can learn and be inspired. Agnieszka is the perfect example of I could not keep my eyes off of her. Not only is she very tall, but she's so athletic and aggressive at the net. She will not let someone just tip over a ball on her. She will be in your face. Of course, she is a perfect example of really pushing and being athletic and aggressive at the net is a really good way to shine as a middle. And I think even though all the other middles also have this attribute, but her aggression at the net is something that middles truly need if you want to go from a good one to a phenomenal middle. Don't just let someone push a ball back in your face and wait to grab it. You joust with them at the net. Don't just let someone get an easy tip on you. Block them. Push yourself to get there and to put that block up, even if you're not sure if it'll be perfect. So those are my 5 middles that you should be watching. And I'm a setter, and I literally get so excited thinking about watching these middles play. So if that's any point to you that you just need to find the middles that you can watch that'll hype you up and get you excited about your position, then that's your proof. So to wrap this all up, I really want to encourage people, do not just let a position pass you by because you're like, well, maybe I'm too short, or maybe I'm not athletic enough for the middle. Maybe I couldn't handle all of the pressure. You don't know until you try. So truly, I want to reiterate, trust your coaches. If you're a part of a club or you're going to try out soon, or you're a coach yourself and you're like, I don't know who's going to be a good middle. Trust your instincts and always know that you can try something else later on. I have moved people's positions in new seasons, in the middle of the seasons. Injuries happen. You need to always have a backup plan, anyways. But if you're an athlete, especially, please always keep an open mind to any position. And I've said this to my own athletes over the years. This is not tennis. This is not a singular one on one match. Volleyball is so much of a team sport. If you don't have the attitude of, okay, I'll do this position, I'm not sure if I'll be good at it, but I'm going to try it out because my coach thinks that's what's best for my team, I'm going to do it. That's the mindset you should be having, not, ugh, the middle's so boring. I don't really want to do the middle, or nah, like, I definitely want to be outside. Outside gets more. Like, no. This is a team sport. Any athletes, at least one time, they're like, I wish I was an outside. Me. I want to be an outside. Why do you want to be an outside? Because you think it gets the most reps. Boring. I'm being so for real because if you, let's be honest here before I close this out, you should just do your best and know that whatever the coach gives you, if you agree with it or not, you're in that program, right? Club or public school or high school, college, whatever. You're a part of that program, even if you like it or not. The coach is going to put you where they think you're going to best fit that team. If you were with a different team, it might be that you would be a right side instead of a middle. You really don't know. Each team and season's needs are different. So if you go into a team sport like volleyball, it's very team sport, and you're like, no, like the middle sucks. I would never do the middle. Boo. You're not the type of athlete that I would want. And I've seen so many athletes like that. Like, I want to be outside. Weirdo. Don't be weird. Like, we love the outside. All the positions are important. But if you overlook being a middle just because you think that it's less important and you get less of the ball, then you're just not doing your due diligence of making that position and utilizing it as best you can. Just like the attributes I said earlier, you need to be smart and aggressive. And once you start showing consistency in your position, the setter will trust you more, your back row will trust you more. Please, especially for this position, I don't think I'll say it for any other ones, please keep an open mind and know that if you have the passion, there's not going to be a lot of people that are fighting for the middle position. There's always a long line of people for the outside, for the libero that want to do it, never middle. So if you can focus on middle and know that you have these attributes and you want to get passionate about it, you're going to have a really strong likelihood of getting good at the position and getting playing time over the 10 people that are waiting in line to be an outside. Would you rather be on the bench or getting playing? That's my mentality. Just keep an open mind, get those reps, and you'll be placed where you should be placed by your coach. And if you're a coach watching, really use those attributes that I said in the second section to pick your middles. It's really important to make sure that you're picking athletic people to go in the middle position, because if they're not athletic, it's going to be a poop storm. I want to say the other one, but it's going to be a poop storm if they get in the setter's way, they get in the back row's way, they're not blocking at the net consistently. You need to make sure you're picking the right one. So athletes, if you're still watching, if they pick you for middle, it's a very, very good sign. Well, I hope this helped you guys out. I got really passionate about the middle for a little bit because it's so often overlooked, but it's so fun to watch really talented middles play. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot more than you guys think on this channel. It lets me know what people are resonating with, what they want more of, all that good stuff. Don't forget to follow my TikTok and Instagram. Not sure if TikTok's going to still be a thing. They keep saying every year that they're going to shut it down. So either way, try it out. TikTok and Instagram, they're still doing pretty good. I will see you in the next YouTube video, and I hope this really helped you guys out. Bye.